Well, she didn't give us the warning to not talk, so I think I'm just gonna start talking.
Will you be quiet for Pete's sakes? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! All right, everybody. Hello. The chatting magpie here with the gang. And, well, 2.5 members. One of them I have muted for half a minute because, seriously. Yay! Yukihime, how are you guys?
Doing well.
Excellent.
And you.
Excellent. Happy to see you guys here. So, you guys, we're ready to get started with today's read-along. I apologize for the slight delay. Again, I don't know. I've been looking into this, why Discord seems to do this quite a lot to me. And I'm not the only one, you guys, but Discord has like this thing that does like the infinite loop of just like downloading update. So I anticipated that happening, today. So I logged in to YouTube in my desktop, the app, like at, I don't know what, around 12:05, and it would not, you guys, only an act of, I don't know what button I managed to push, but we're here, we're alive, you guys. And so, okay, let's see. Today we're reading the Count of Monte Cristo. We're continuing on. Last time we read chapter 53, so we continue with chapter 54, titled A Flurry in Stocks. But before that, I just want to say hello to the people on the chat. Okay. First comment on the chat is Fuji, who said at 101, said, Magpie's late due to a painful hour of technical difficulties, but we still love her. Thank you, Fuji. Where are you? Get in over here. Happy to see you, of course. And congratulations here. Have a whole bunch of hearts. Also, she is calling for blessings upon this this live stream. You know what? We needed all the blessings we could. We still need blessings. How about we ask for blessings before like the stream? Maybe that will be more helpful, and then Magpie will not be struggling with her computer. But I still appreciate all the blessings. Who else is with us? Let's see. We have Yay. Yay, hello. And I see you put already the summary, which I'll have you read a little later. Thank you for putting that in. And also, you guys, I am putting the summaries that Yay writes into the description, so you guys will be able to like know what each stream is about going forward. Also on the chat, I see Patrick, who is falsely claiming that I am a tyrant and I gave him several warnings, you guys, and he refused to cooperate. So Patrick, you just half a minute more, you'll be back in time to read your role, so don't you worry. But happy to see you here. Also, who else is in the chat? Yukihime. Hey Yukihime, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I had a nice day.
Sweet.
And I've started to write more fanfic for our favorite series in anticipation of the season 4 of A Sentence of a Bookworm. Let's go! I am you know it's unhinged because I'm going to have to make a tag. A relationship tag.
Oh my gosh, hold on a second. I was actually gonna ask you if it was anything related to Heartmut, but I wonder if it has anything to do with the latest release, you guys. Did you guys check out the latest release, the manga release?
No, actually, I forgot. I have to.
Okay. So here's the thing. I must have forgotten because I just kept updating it. I've been living on Twitter like for the past 2 days since the release, so I take it for granted. You guys, the newest manga adaptation of A Sense of a Bookworm is out. It's basically the events of part 3 from the point of view of Ferdinand's retainers. We have Eckhart, Eustace, Lasfram, and of course Ferdinand. Who else? And it's been a delight. They released 2 chapters and they are freaking amazing, you guys. The art is incredible. Please do yourself a favor and go check it out. If you want a link, go to my Go to my X, Twitter, whatever, Cursed Bird app. I'll put it there. And because I can't look for it right now. But yeah, check it out. Or just Google. Google, kids. Jeez.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not read it yet, but the funny thing is, so as I mentioned, it's gonna be a relationship tag that I checked, because I checked before and I checked again now, and nobody has decided to write this kind of unhinged ship. So you guys don't talk. Magpie, I want you to guess.
Ferdinand and Eustace. Wait, no, that's been written
that
before.
That tag already exists.
It does. And I can't say.
You said don't talk, but I still don't know.
Yeah, he's back. It's not Eckhart and Ferdinand because it exists already.
Okay, I give you a hint. It is with Rosamund and someone else.
Well, it's not Rosamund and Eckhart because I already wrote that.
Is it Rosamund and Sigismund?
Rosamund and Sigismund? Ew, gross.
It already exists, that one.
Okay.
And
that actually exists?
Yeah, actually it does.
You really?
It does.
You really haven't seen around, huh?
It does exist. And we can all thank Akuferu for all of these unhinged and ungodly
Exactly. Akuferu is leaving me in the dust with like one ship that apparently he or she didn't cover for some reason.
Okay. You know what ship hasn't been covered in the English speaking? And it's fairly popular. I don't know why in Japanese, in the Japanese shipping world. I don't know, Gunther and Bonifacius. I don't know why, but it's a thing. It's a thing, you guys.
Like romantically?
Yeah.
No!
Yes!
I actually thought about them a lot as drinking buddies and the biggest fans of Rosamund. Like I actually did imagine them as BFFs, you know? Like I actually did thought about them, but never in my wildest dream.
They took it one drink too
we
far,
love
apparently.
Effa here.
Apparently they took it one drink too far and things have happened.
I can't do it.
Yep, exactly. Just don't go to Pixiv and you will not see the things I've seen or read the things I've seen on the. No.
I'm not really much on Pixiv, so okay. So you still haven't.
I still don't know. I still don't know if it's Rosamund. Not it.
Rosamund Daniel.
Rosamund Daniel?
No.
Rosamund, not Hartmouth. You already wrote that. Rosamund Cornelius. Rosamund Elvira, Rosamund, what else? Charlotte's already been written. Sylvester has already been written. Has that been written? Rosamund Sylvester? The silence, you guys. The silence. Oh my gosh, did I get kicked out? I got kicked out of my own server. I got kicked out of my own server. What in the world happened?
They kicked all of us out.
No,
we were all kicked out.
Yeah, I remained in the chat. Here I was like shooting out ideas of like different ships, and I was met with silence. Just silence. I was like,
hey, what? You have to repeat yourselves. What other ships have you tried?
I don't know. I cry uncle because I'm looking at the clock. We have a chapter to read.
Wilfred.
Just tell me. That hasn't been written yet?
No, actually, and like for them being engaged for years, it's like actually surprising.
What? That is crazy. I did not know that wasn't already a tag. Wow. Well, congratulations. You have unlocked a new creature, I guess. Use it wisely, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I must inform you, we are now missing on the live stream in terms of images and whatnot. There we go.
Yeah, now we're there, but
we're there.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry about that. Again, I don't know. Technology is just glitching out on me, you guys.
Well, for once, it's not YouTube. Now it's just Discord just being weird for whatever reason.
Yes. Okay, you guys. As you can see, we are definitely using up our luck at the moment, just trying to get reading. We should just get reading while we are still able to before Discord decides to just up and leave us. So how about we just get started, you guys? First off, though, would love a little summary of what happened in the last time, in case those of you who are here and weren't in the last time, you just want to be caught up. Yay, darling, can you get us all caught up, please?
Sure. Last time on the Count of Monte Cristo, our fabulous collection of characters gathered at the opera, in part to see and hear the show, but much more to show off and share gossip. Chief among them, that of the mysterious Count of Monte Cristo, the talk of Parisian society, submitted a horse for a race at the last moment and won, only to hand the trophy off to Countess G. Because of his continued domination of the topics of discussion, Albert found himself one of the most desired conversational partners in the building, right up until the Count himself made an appearance, this time with his Greek companion Haydee. The Count was all too happy to visit the families of Danglars and Morcef, particularly when the Count de Morcef himself arrived. All, of course, for his own ends. For when Haydee spotted the counts together, she was overcome with terror, revealing at last to the Count that it was the Count de Morcef who had betrayed his contract with her father and left her enslaved to secure for himself his wealth and titles. A great and profound shame on the Morcef line should it be revealed. Where will this reveal go today on the Count of Monte Cristo?
All right. Thank you for that very thorough read and summary. I had forgotten some of the stuff. Yes, you're right. So we didn't know yet, we didn't know until like now what was the tie between Haydee with everybody else in this whole drama. Yeah, she also has a vendetta here, so that's going to be interesting. I look forward to seeing more Haydee. And by the way, I
want to give a welcome to both Teal and Butterfly.
I was going to say that.
Teal joined recently, but Butterfly has been quietly
by yourself this time.
For so long.
Hello.
Hello. Happy to see you.
Hello.
How are you guys? Good?
Yes.
Do you want rolls?
I can't read today, sorry. I'm working.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're with us. Teal, how about you? Is there any...
My voice is kind of messed up, so I'm just going to listen. But thank you.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'm happy that you joined us. Hurrah! All right, you guys. So today we are going to be reading chapter 54. And the readers are as follows. The Count of Monte Cristo et al. Will be read by Patrick. Albert de Morcef is going to be read by Yay82. Lucien Debray will be read by Yukihime. Baptistine, oh gosh, that wicked child, will be read by Patrick and Wait, it's not Baptistine actually, it's Benedetto, right? The bad guy.
Yeah, Benedetto.
Baptistine is... Who's Baptistine again, remind me? Oh golly.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a new. It sounds familiar in my head. It sounds familiar. I don't know if it's because of movie or because of the anime. Because there's also characters. Anyway, forget I said it.
He is the loyal valet of the Count.
I thought that was Bertuccio. All right, you guys.
I think he's one of them, but I feel like there are three. There is Ali, Bertuccio, and Baptistine. Yeah, I agree.
Alexander Dumas, could you not have picked other names? I'm confused. We have Benedetto, Baptistine, Bertuccio, whoever, Busoni.
If you had picked different names, then you wouldn't be so confused.
All right, you guys. So, all right, from the top, Patrick's going to be reading Count of Monte Cristo. Ye is going to be reading Albert de Morcef. Yukihime is going to be reading two roles. It'll be Lucien Debray and Bertuccio. And Patrick is going to be reading Baptistine. Still not sure who Baptistine is, or if I did, I forgot. Bird brain again. So thank you so much, you guys, for signing up. Excited to read. Today, thank you to the highlighter MVP, Yukihime. So if there's an error on the highlighting, you know who to blame. There's never errors, you guys. Never. We're good.
And if they are, we are trying our best to mind them before we get to that line.
Right? Now, you guys are amazing. This is a very long work, and highlighting is it's a little challenging. So definitely props to all of you who are highlighting.
Mm-hmm. And it's very important, and so thank you.
Yes, we thank you. We thank thee. All right, you guys, enough chitter chatter. We've been at this for a while, so let's just get started with the read.
Chitter chatter, let's get at her.
Let us read chapter 50 for A Flurry in Stocks. Some days after this meeting, Albert de Morcef visited the Count of Monte Cristo at his house in the Champs-Élysées, which had already assumed that palace-like appearance which the Countess's princely fortune enabled him to give even to his most temporary residences. He came to renew the thanks of Madame Danglars, which had been already conveyed to the Count through the medium of a letter, signed Baronne Danglars, née Hermine de Servieux. Albert was accompanied by Lucien Debray, who, joining in his friend's conversation, added some passing compliments, the source of which the Count's talent for finesse easily enabled him to guess. He was convinced that Lucien's visit was due to a double feeling of curiosity, the larger half of which sentiment emanated from the Rue de la Chose d'Antin. In short, Madame Danglars, not being able personally to examine in detail the domestic economy and household arrangements of a man who gave away horses worth 30,000 francs and who went to the opera with a Greek slave wearing diamonds to the amount of 1,000,000 of money, had deputed those eyes, by which she was accustomed to see, to give her a faithful account of the mode of life of this incomprehensible person. But the Count did not appear to suspect that there could be the slightest connection between Lucien's visit and the curiosity of the Baroness.
You are in constant communication with the Baron Danglars.
The Count inquired of Albert de Morcef.
Yes, Count, you know what I told you.
All remains the same, then, in that quarter. Lucien!
I'm gonna leave a second and come back because I don't hear Patrick.
Oh, Lord.
Discord.
Discord is being awesome!
Okay,
Hello.
I'm hearing Patrick again. Okay.
That's important. All right, your line, please,
Okay, it is more than ever a settled thing.
said Lucien. And considering that this remark was all that he was at the time called upon to make, he adjusted the glass to his eye, and biting the top of his gold-headed cane, began to make the tour of the apartment, examining the arms and the pictures.
Ah, I did not expect that the affair would be so promptly concluded.
Oh, things take their course without our assistance. Well, we are forgetting them. They are falling into their appointed order. And when, again, our attention is directed to them, we are surprised at the progress they have made towards the proposed end. My father and Monsieur Danglars served together in Spain. My father in the army, and Monsieur Danglars in the commissariat department. It was there that my father, ruined by the revolution, and Monsieur Danglars, who never had possessed any patrimony, both laid the foundations of their different fortunes.
Yes, I think Monsieur Danglars mentioned that in a visit which I paid him, and...
Continued he, casting a side glance at Lucien, who was turning over the leaves of an album.
Mademoiselle Eugenie is pretty. I think I remember that be her name.
Very pretty, or rather very beautiful, but of that style of beauty which I do not appreciate. I am an ungrateful fellow.
You speak as if you were already her husband. I don't think it caught you, Hiei.
Oh. Ah.
Returned Albert, in his turn looking around to see what Lucien was doing.
Really? You do not appear to me to be very enthusiastic on the subject of this marriage.
Mademoiselle Danglars is too rich for me, and that frightens me.
Ah, that's a fine reason to give. Are you not rich yourself?
My father's income is about 50,000 francs per annum, and he will give me perhaps 10 or 12,000 when I marry.
That perhaps might not be considered a large sum, in Paris especially. But everything does not depend on wealth, and it is a fine thing to have a good name, and to occupy a high station in society. Your name is celebrated, your position magnificent, and then the Count de Morcef is a soldier. And it is pleasing to see the integrity of a Bayard united to the poverty of a whatever that French word is, disinterestedness is the brightest ray in which a noble sword can shine. For me, I consider the union with Mademoiselle Danglars to be a most suitable one. She will enrich you, and you will ennoble her.
Albert shook his head and looked thoughtful.
There is still something else.
Oh, wow, that was a shorter line than I thought. I confess that I have some difficulty in comprehending your objection to a young lady who is both rich and beautiful.
Oh, this repugnance, if repugnance it may be called, is not all on my side.
Whence can it arise, then? For you told me your father desired the marriage.
It is my mother who dissents. She has a clear and penetrating judgment, and does not smile on the proposed union. I cannot account for it, but she seems to entertain some prejudice against the Danglars.
Ah,
Said the Count in a somewhat forced tone.
that may be easily explained. The Countess de Morcef, who is aristocracy and refinement itself, does not relish the idea of being allied by your marriage with one of ignoble birth. That is natural enough.
I do not know if that is her reason. But one thing I do know, that if this marriage to be consummated, it would render her quite miserable. There was to have been a meeting 6 weeks ago in order to talk over and settle the affair, but I had such a sudden attack of indisposition.
Real?
Interrupted the Count, smiling.
Oh, real enough. From anxiety, doubtless. At any rate, they postponed the matter for 2 months. There is no hurry, you know. I am not yet 21, and Eugene is only 17, but the 2 months expire next week. It must be done. My dear Count, you cannot imagine how my mind is harassed, how happy you are being exempt from all of this.
Well, and why should not you be free to? What prevents you from being so?
Oh, it will be too great a disappointment to my father if I do not marry Mademoiselle Danglars.
Marry her then.
Said the Count with a significant shrug of the shoulders.
Yes, but that will plunge my mother into positive grief.
Then don't marry her.
Well, I shall see. I will try and think over what is the best thing to be done, and you will give me your advice, will you not? And if possible, extricate me from my unpleasant position. I think rather than give pain to my dear mother, I would run the risk of offending the Count.
Monte Cristo turned away. He seemed very moved by this last remark.
Ah,
Said he to Debray, who had thrown himself into an easy chair at the furthest extremity of the salon, and who held a pencil in his right hand, an account book in his left.
what are you doing there? Are you making a sketch after Poussin?
Oh no, I am too fond of art to attempt anything of that sort. I am doing a little sum in arithmetic.
Arithmetic.
Yes, I am calculating, by the way, Morcef, that indirectly concerns you. I am calculating that the House of Danglars must have gained by the last rise in Haydee bonds from 206 they have risen to 409 in 3 days, and the prudent banker had purchased at 206. Therefore, he must have made 300,000 livres.
That is not his biggest scoop. Did he not make 1,000,000 in Spaniards this last year?
My dear fellow, here is the Count of Monte Cristo, who will say to you, as the Italians do,
Denaro e santita. Meta della meta.
when they tell me such things, I only shrug my shoulders and say nothing.
But you were speaking of Haitians.
Ah, Haitians. That is quite another thing. Haitians are the écarté of French stock jobbing. We may like Boulette, delight in whist, be enraptured with Boston, and yet grow tired of them all. But we always come back to écarté. It is not only a game, it is hors d'oeuvre. Monsieur Danglars sold yesterday at 405, and pockets 300,000 francs. Had he but waited till today, the price would have fallen to 205, and instead of gaining 300,000 francs, he would have lost 20 or 25,000.
And what has caused the sudden fall from 409 to 206? I am profoundly ignorant of these stock jobbing intrigues.
Because one piece of news follows another, and there is often great dissimilarity between them.
Ah, I see that Monsieur Danglars is accustomed to play at gaining or losing 300 francs in a day. He must be enormously rich.
It is not he who plays. It is Madame Danglars. She is indeed daring.
But you are a reasonable being, Lucien, and who knows how little dependence is to be placed on the news. Since you are at the fountainhead, surely you ought to prevent it.
How can I if her husband fails in controlling her? You know, the character of the Baroness. No one has any influence with her, and she does precisely what she pleases.
Ah, if I were in your place,
Well,
I would reform her. It would be rendering a service to her future son-in-law.
how would you set about it?
Ah, that would be easy enough. I would give her a lesson.
A lesson.
Yes, your position as secretary to the minister renders your authority great on the subject of political news. You never open your mouth, but the stockbrokers immediately stenograph your words. Cause her to lose 100,000 francs, and that would teach her prudence.
I do not understand.
It is very clear, notwithstanding. Tell her some fine morning an unheard piece of intelligence, some telegraphic dispatch of which you alone are in possession. For instance, that Henry IV was seen yesterday at Gabrielle's. That would boom the market. She will buy heavily, and she will certainly lose when Beauchamp announces the following day in his Gazette the report circulated by some unusually well-informed persons that the king was seen yesterday at Gabrielle's house is totally without foundation. We can positively assert that His Majesty did not quit of the Pont Neuf.
Lucien half smiled. Monte Cristo, although apparently indifferent, had not lost one word of this conversation, and his penetrating eye had even read a hidden secret in the embarrassed manner of the secretary. This embarrassment had completely escaped Albert, but it caused Lucien to shorten his visit. He was evidently ill at ease. The Count, in taking leave of him, said something in a low voice, to which he answered,
Willingly, Count, I accept.
The Count returned to young Morcef.
Do you not think, on reflection, that you have done wrong in thus speaking of your mother-in-law in the presence of Monsieur Debray?
My dear Count, I beg of you not to apply that title so prematurely.
Now, speaking without any exaggeration, is your mother really so very much averse to this marriage?
So much so that the Baroness very rarely comes to the house, and my mother has not, I think, visited Madame Danglars twice in her life.
Then I am emboldened to speak openly to you. Monsieur Danglars is my banker. Monsieur de Villefort has overwhelmed me with such politeness in return for a service which a casual piece of good fortune enabled me to render him. I predict from all this an avalanche of dinners and routes. Now, in order to not presume on this, and also to be beforehand with them, I have, if agreeable to you, thought of inviting Monsieur and Madame Danglars and Monsieur and Madame Villefort to my country house in Autun. If I were to invite you and the Count and Countess of Morcef to this dinner, I should give it the appearance of being a matrimonial meeting, or at least Madame de Morcef would look upon the affair in that light, especially if Baron Danglars did me the honor of to bring his daughter. In that case, your mother would hold me in aversion, and I do not wish that. On the contrary, I desire to stand high in her esteem.
Indeed, Count. I thank you sincerely for having used so much candor toward me, and I gratefully accept the exclusion which you propose. You say you desire my mother's good opinion? I assure you it is already yours to a very unusual extent.
Do you think so?
Oh, I am sure of it. We talked of you an hour after you left us the other day. But in return to what you were saying, if my mother could know of this attention on your part, and I venture to tell her, I am sure she will be most grateful to you. It is true that my father will be equally angry.
Well, but I think your father will not be the only angry one. Monsieur and Madame Danglars will think me a very ill-mannered person. They will know I am intimate with you, that you are. In fact, one of the oldest of my Parisian acquaintances. And they will not find you at my house. They will certainly ask me why I did not invite you. Be sure to provide yourself with some previous engagement which shall have a semblance of probability, and communicate the fact to me by a line in writing. You know that with the bankers nothing can Nothing but a written document will be valid.
I will do better than that. My mother is wishing to go to the seaside. What day is fixed for your dinner?
Saturday.
This is Tuesday. Well, tomorrow evening we leave, and the day after we shall be at Tréport. Really, Count, you have a delightful way of setting people at their ease.
Indeed. You give me more credit than I deserve. I only wish to do what will be agreeable to you. That is all.
When shall you send your invitations?
This very day.
Well, I will immediately call upon Monsieur Danglars and tell him that my mother and myself must leave Paris tomorrow. I have not seen you. Consequently, I know nothing of your dinner.
How foolish you are. Have you forgotten that Monsieur Debray has just seen you at my house?
Ah, true.
Fix it this way. I have seen you and invited you without any ceremony. When you instantly answered that it would be impossible for you to accept as you were going to Tréport.
Well, then that is settled. But you will come and call on my mother before tomorrow?
Before tomorrow. That will be a difficult matter to arrange. Besides, I shall just be in the way of all the preparations for departure.
Well, you can do better. You were only a charming man before, but if you accede to my proposal, you will be adorable.
What must I do to attain such sublimity?
You are today free as air. Come, dine with me, and we shall be a small party, only yourself and my mother and I. You have scarcely seen my mother, and you shall have an opportunity of observing her more closely. She is a remarkable woman. I only regret that there does not exist another like her, about 20 years younger. In that case, I assure you, there would very soon be a Countess and Viscountess of Morcef. As to my father, you will not see him. He is officially engaged and dines with the chief referendar. We will talk over our travels, and you, who has seen the whole world, will relate your adventures. You shall tell us the history of the beautiful Greek who was with you the other night at the opera, whom you call your slave, and yet treat like a princess. We will talk Italian and Spanish. Come, accept my invitation, and my mother will thank you.
1,000 thanks. Your invitation is most gracious, and I regret exceedingly that it is not in my power to accept it. I am not so much at liberty as you suppose. On the contrary, I have a most important engagement.
Ah, take care. You were teaching me just now how, in case of an invitation to dinner, one might credibly make an excuse. I require the proof of a pre-engagement. I am not a banker like Monsieur Danglars, but I am quite as incredulous as he is.
I am to give you proof.
Replied the Count, and he rang the bell.
This is the second time you've refused to dine with my mother. It is evident you wish to avoid her.
Oh, you do not mean that. Besides, here comes the confirmation of my assertion.
Baptistine entered and remained standing at the door.
I had no previous knowledge of your visit, had I?
Indeed, you are an extraordinary person, that I would not answer for it.
At all events, I could not guess that you would invite me to dinner.
Probably not.
Well, listen. Baptistine, what did I tell you this morning when I called you to my laboratory? To close the door against visitors as soon as the clock struck 5.
Replied the valet.
What then?
Ah, my dear Count.
No, no, I wish to do away with that mysterious reputation that you have given me, my dear Viscount. It is tiresome to be always acting, Manfred. I wish my life to be free and open. Go on, Baptistine. Then to admit to no one except Major Bartolomeo Cavalcanti and his son. You hear, Major Bartolomeo Cavalcanti, a man who ranks among the most ancient nobility of Italy, has whose name Dante has celebrated in the 10th canto of the Inferno. You remember it, do you not? Then there is his son, Andrea, a charming young man, about your age, Viscount, bearing the same title as yourself, and who is making his entry into the Parisian world, aided by his father's millions. The Major will bring his son with him this evening, the Contino, as we say in Italy. He confides in me to my care. If he proves himself worthy of it, I will do what I can to advance his interests. You will assist me in the work, will you not?
Most undoubtedly. This Major Cavalcanti is an old friend of yours, then?
By no means. He is a perfect nobleman, very polite, modest, and agreeable, such as may be found constantly in Italy. Descendants of very ancient families, I have met him several times in Florence, Bologna, and Lucca, and he has now communicated to me that the fact of his arrival in Paris, the acquaintances one makes in traveling have a sort of claim on one. They they ex- they everywhere expect to receive the same attention which you would give them by chance. As though the civilities of a passing hour were likely to awaken any lasting interest in favor of the man whose society you may happen to be thrown in the course of your journey. This good Major Cavalcanti is come to take a second view of Paris, which he only saw in passing through in though I'm sorry. Sorry guys. Which he only saw in passing through in the time of the Empire, when he was on his way to Moscow. I shall give him a good dinner. He will confide his son to my care. I will promise to watch over him. I shall let him follow in whatever path my folly or his folly may lead him. And then I shall have done my part.
Certainly. I see you are a model mentor. Goodbye. We shall return on Sunday. By the way, I have received news from Franz.
Have you? Is he still amusing himself in Italy?
I believe so. However, he regrets your absence extremely. He says you were the son of Rome, and that without you all appears dark and cloudy. I do not know if he does not even go so far as to say that it rains.
His opinion of me is altered for the better, then.
No, he still persists in looking upon you as the most incomprehensible and mysterious of beings.
He is a charming young man, and I felt a lively interest in him the very first evening of my introduction, when I met him in search of a supper, and prevailed upon him to accept a portion of mine. He is, I think, the son of General d'Epiphany.
He is.
The same who was so shamefully assassinated in 1815.
by the Bonapartists.
Yes, really. I like him extremely. Is there not also a matrimonial engagement contemplated for him?
Yes, he is to marry Mademoiselle de Villefort.
Indeed.
And you know I am to marry Mademoiselle Danglars.
You smile.
Yes?
Why do you do so?
I smile because there appears to me to be about as much inclination for the consummation of the engagement in question as there is for my own. But really, my dear Count, we are talking as much of women as they do of us. It is unpardonable.
Albert rose.
Are you going?
Really, that is a good idea. 2 hours have I been boring you to death with my company, and then you, with the greatest politeness, ask me if I am going. Indeed, Count, you are the most polished man in the world, and your servants too. How very well behaved they are. There is quite a style about them. Monsieur Baptistin especially. I could never get such a man as that. My servants seem to imitate those you sometimes see in a play, who, because they have only a word or two to say, acquit themselves in the most awkward manner possible. Therefore, if you part with Monsieur Baptistin, give me the refusal of him.
By all means.
That is not all. Give my compliments to illustrious Lucanese, Cavalcanti of the Cavalcanti. And if by any chance he should be wishing to establish his son, find him a wife very rich, very noble on her mother's side, at least, and a baroness in right of her father, I will help you in the search.
Ha ha! You will do as much as that, will you?
Yes.
Well, really. Nothing is certain in this world.
Oh, Count, what a service you might render me! I should like you 100 times better if, by your intervention, I could manage to remain a bachelor, even were it only for 10 years.
Nothing is impossible.
Gravely replied Monte Cristo, and taking leave of Albert, he returned into the house and struck the gong 3 times. Bertuccio appeared.
Monsieur Bertuccio, you understand that I intend entertaining company on Saturday at Tutel.
Hotel.
Sure. It's French. Sorry. I shall require your services to see that all be properly arranged. It is a beautiful house, or at all events, may be made so.
There must be a good deal done before it can deserve that title, Your Excellencies, for the tapestry, the hangings are very old.
Let them all be taken away and changed then. With the exception of the sleeping chamber, which is hung with red damask. You will leave that exactly as it is. You will not touch the garden either. As to the yard, you may do what you please with it. I should prefer that being altered beyond all recognition.
I will do everything in my power to carry out your wishes, Your Excellency. I should be glad, however, to receive Your Excellency's comments concerning the dinner.
Really, my dear Bertuccio, since you have been in Paris, you have become quite nervous and apparently out of your element. You no longer seem to understand me.
But surely Your Excellency will be so good as to inform me of whom you are expecting to receive.
I do not yet know myself. Neither is it necessary that you should do so. Lucullus dines with Lucullus. That is quite sufficient.
Bertuccio bowed and left the room. End of chapter.
Well, those speeches can be kind of challenging.
Hey, I mean, bravo for you. You were able to get them done. Those are like paragraphs and paragraphs. But at least it wasn't like a full wall without break. You got, some relief from Albert, who... Yay! Like, Albert is... Your Albert is like this, like, spoiled... You do a good Albert.
Yep.
He's so spoiled and insufferable, but I can't hate him.
Yeah, he's so spoiled and yet he's so entertaining at the same time. I love him.
Playing him off as just this like spoiled but kind of witty kid, it works. It hits a sweet spot.
Too bad he has like these awful parents, right? I feel sorry for him though. Like he's getting played by Monte Cristo in so many ways. If he doesn't see it, he just sees, "Oh, you're my friend," blah blah blah. In another world, they could have been friends, but not in this one. Not in this one. All right, so we already know about his indifference towards his fiance, but like we see a little bit more, especially when he has an exchange with Monte Cristo. Well, was there anything about this conversation about his future and what his family thinks about this match? Anything you want to think about?
I'm amused by the prospective mother-in-law's her repulsiveness towards this arranged marriage. I don't think that's the right word, but it'll work for now.
So you're talking about Mercedes, who does not look favorably on this match, right?
Yes.
It's to me, it sounded really, really funny, like the irony of it all, because Edmund is supposedly attributing it to like her thinking, "Oh, like this child of a banker of like a nobody wants to marry like my son who's a count." Well, Mercedes, fully knowing that Mercedes came from nothing too. So it's just the height of irony. I really like that.
Yeah, it's like she's being portrayed as being too good for this other family.
Mm-hmm. When they're just the same common upstarts. But yeah, I think that's kind of Edmund trying to get in a little bit of his anger somewhat indirectly. Kind of like...
Yeah, he still feels the sting of her not waiting for him.
Maybe, I don't know, like... I'm looking forward to like some other encounter, but he's like really avoiding any further meeting with Mercedes, as Albert has already picked up on it. He entreated him to have like just a cozy little dinner at his house, only his mom and he, and thankfully there was this appointment. But either way, I don't think Edmund wants anything to do right now, to like no socializing, no nothing with the mom, for a good reason, of course. Anything else about this match and about the conversation between these peoples?
Albert really annoyed me with like, "Oh, someone, if he is in need of a girl that is pretty and rich, then I've got the girl for him. She just happens to be my fiance, so like she's ready for the taking." Like, dude, that's kind of cold. Like, what?
Typical behavior.
Hey,
of
this
entitled.
is my fiance. I hate her so much. I want to give her to somebody else before I have to force to marry her. He was like, "What?"
Hello, Ed. Happy that you're here. Yeah, so we got that. Yeah, you were gonna say something?
Nope, I was just gonna say hello because I didn't realize I had joined.
Yeah, he's been streaming his game. That's what we do here. We hang out, we quietly enjoy our amusements, so welcome, Ed. And also, Ed has been with us for all of the Monte Cristo watch party, so He might not be here in all of the read-alongs, but he knows the story. He knows a lot.
Also, listening in on the YouTube side, we have Emmy.
Emmy,
that
is true.
You could join us in the chat too, hun.
Also, who was in the chat very briefly, Crusher was here. Crusher, are you still here? Sorry I couldn't interrupt to say hello, but happy to see you. By the way, speaking of interrupting, I didn't know if I should interrupt, but before, okay, I think because you have the push to speak, Patrick, before your lines, we would hear a little
yeah, that's because I hit the push to talk and it gives that little notification that I pushed to talk.
Yeah, we can hear it in every single line.
Not a big deal.
So yeah, we have the talk with Eugenie. We have the talk, a very brief mention of France. What did we talk about? What news about France do we have in this chapter?
Sounds like only that he's still in Italy, and it's Rome is nowhere near as fun without the Count.
He is able to make this assertion in spite of still being suspicious, or suspicious of the Count of Monte Cristo, which he really seems to admit. Because I think Dante finds it like somewhat amusing too. That he's like, yeah, he totally like doesn't really like me, but that's cool. So yeah, I miss France. So hopefully we can get him back sooner rather than later. I feel like without France, Albert is just getting himself into trouble somehow. We need voice of reason. But even so,
I think you are impugning Franz there. Obviously, he finds the Count to be an incredibly interesting and likable fellow. Just he's too mysterious.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I would probably feel like a little suspicious of a fellow who gave me some sweet hashish, got me hooked on the drug, and then abandoned me on an island. That's probably...
Wow, you make him sound so nefarious.
It is nefarious.
Well, I, for one, would find that quite fun.
You know what else is nefarious is not sharing your hashish.
That is true. But if you keep to yourself the fact that you have hashish, then you don't have to share it. It's when you widely share that you have hashish. Actually it just reminds me, when Monte Cristo had this breakfast with his friends, he passed around his little bag, his little dime bag around the table, for lack of a better word. So I guess that's how you do it when you're a count, I guess. Anyway.
I guess so. I have no idea. Nothing to compare against.
Right. Well, sometimes it's best to be a peasant. All right, beautiful peoples. So we got news about Franz, who's still in Italy. He's not going to be joining us for a while, but it's good to still remember him because I'm sure he's going to be back. But we also get news, since this chapter was about personal affairs and affairs of the heart and matrimonial affairs. We also learn here that he is also to be engaged to Villafort's daughter. We don't get all of the details, but this is the first mention of another very important character in the story. So yeah. Also,
we actually did already know that.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Lost in Botheration. I forget. Look, you guys, my mind is soup. I have movies in my head. 2 movies. I have the anime adaptation. I have Wishbone adaptation. So I don't know.
Incredible.
I forgot Wishbone did an adaptation.
Yeah.
God.
That's
Wishbone.
I know.
Wishbone's best.
Yeah, I know.
See if we can watch it.
I can't find it. Does anybody know where we could watch it? Anybody have a PBS account?
Around.
I have no idea.
I want to know what the story is, Wishbone.
What's the story,
I just love
Wishbone?
Wishbone.
What's this you're dreaming of? Sorry.
Oh my god.
That's not how I feel, huh?
But I just love how the 90s were so invested in getting people to read that we had not only Reading Rainbow, but Wishbone, and I think there were a few others too.
Yeah. It was a beautiful time to grow up. Not necessarily to be alive, because that means that we're here and stuck in the present with a vivid memory of how things used to be. But those were really good shows, and I love them. Thank God for PBS and all of the shows. I remember when my parents and I first moved here, I learned English by watching TV, and especially those shows, like, all the time. This was before we had cable, so those are really good shows to watch. And I hold them really, really deep and dear in my heart. All right, so let's see, who else? Oh, one of the things that I found really interesting, you guys, it's the whole chapter. It is titled, what's the title? It's like the stock exchange or something like that. Let me see, what is it? The title of this chapter is A Flurry in Stocks. And yes, they do talk about stocks at the beginning. You know, it's like how to make money, how to make advantage. Like you trade on information, insider knowledge, all of this stuff. But honestly,
how to fool someone into losing a bunch of money.
Right, that too. But honestly, it just kind of seems to me like this chapter was less about, stock trading in the market and more about, I don't know, fortune trading in the marriage market. Like, we have all these people who are, like, linked to, like, fortunes of their parents and dowries of their prospective wives, and all of that is just another kind of currency in this world of theirs. It's not ideal for those of us who are romantic and who believe that, marriage should be a thing of love and not about economic considerations, but that's a different world. And I'm sure this is also a commentary on just what drives people to, be connected to others in such a way. So,
yeah, it's kind of amusing how once you get rich enough that you don't need money, your currency becomes less what's in your bank account and more the favors and information that you trade among your fellows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have, to all of this, I think that when you had, as an example, you had Lucien Debray, who is basically like, he knows every single gossip there is, and he's pretty blatant about it. He doesn't try to hide the fact that he's just scooping information and trying to find this and that and the other. He goes to Monte Cristo's house to scope out the place because he's going to tell Baroness Danglars exactly what kind of life and what kind of house and what kind of servants he has. And when they ask him what he's doing, he's writing on a little notebook that he is calculating somebody else's money winnings and money losses, and a very interesting fellow this guy is. But yeah, it's all
Amazing
about
how-
trading information. Sorry, go ahead.
Amazing how in A Sentence of a Bookworm, Delia could have been like that, being a spy while acting all friendly and getting mine to trust her.
Delia was the world's worst spy.
Yeah, she really wasn't made for that, and honestly, even with a lot more training, I don't think she would have been anywhere close to that. To her root, she's a pretty straightforward and sincere person, so she's no spy material.
Yeah.
Well, especially since on her first day she outright said, "I'm a spy for the High Bishop."
Yep, world's worst spy. I think when I was doing the countdown for season 3 to A Sense of a Bookworm, I was choosing a song for each of the characters, and I think Delia's, I used the James Bond theme as like, yeah, she sucks at her job. She had one job and she sucked.
I might have done more with Austin Powers than James Bond.
Yeah.
Well, To the answer, I haven't watched Austin Powers. He just seems really grotesque. So, eh.
Well, he is because he's making a mockery of it. He's taking all the style and putting all the jizz into it, you know?
Okay. All right. So, anything else about this chapter that we want to talk about?
Well, maybe not about the chapter, but if you'd like to all join this channel and join us on these read-alongs, you can always do so by liking, subscribing, and supporting your magpie. Join her over on her main account, the Chattering Magpie, and join at the noble level so that you get the link to join us on Discord. I'd love to see you all here.
Yes, thank you for that plug. I'd totally forgotten to do it. All right, yes, what Patrick just said. Hop aboard. We're having watch parties and all that fun stuff too. Also, if you want more Bookworm news, I do implore you to follow me on Twitter, and I keep my ear out for any news and tidbits that we know about Bookworm. So that's also something that you might consider doing. And I think that's all for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about, let's see. So within the next couple of chapters, it's going to be the dinner at Hotel, which those of us who have seen the anime or watched the 2024 version know all about. It's going to be epic.
So I'm hearing that I screwed it up so many times and so much that you also are having a hard time saying it right.
It is a weird word. Don't worry, Patrick.
Yeah.
What, Otoya?
Yeah,
What
I
word
think
is it?
Teal has a better. Teal, what is it again?
Can someone type
Otoya.
it?
Atulia.
If it's a French word, just type it in chat and I'll read it out for you.
Oh, that's true. We have our in-house French speaker. How could I? Okay, where were you when we needed you? Okay, hold on. I found the word. Okay, it's
But
I'm
I
gonna put
want
in
to keep
voice chat.
butchering your beautiful language.
Oh, look! Yay, also! Yeah, you have posted the link to the Wishbone Season 1, Episode 27, The Counts.
I did.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is
It's
it?
on, it's on
voice
voice.
chat.
It's on voice. All right, you
Oh,
guys.
sweet.
I'm gonna paste it also on the chat for those of you who would like to.
You
watch
can
it.
literally find it by searching on
Yeah?
YouTube for Wishbone Count of Monte Cristo. It's not hard.
Well, it is hard for us, I guess. All right. So, Ed, please tell us.
Well, the word you read properly is Auteuil.
Oh, we got it so wrong.
And I'm looking at the description that's coming in. It's coming out of the city in Laval, which is like, what?
What?
That's not what it's supposed to be. It's
So this is like this name of a town called Auteuil.
Oh, it's a district in the city of Paris
Okay.
in the
Makes sense
16th.
for the story.
So it's I think it's making a reference to a particular area in Paris in one of the districts in the 16th arrondissement, which is it says like the 16th precinct, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So it's a reference to Auteuil, which is that little part inside the city of Paris.
Auteuil. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
She's already butchering it.
No, I'm not.
Auteuil.
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 Yeah,
Auteuil.
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 There was one other word that I looked at and I thought about trying to read it, but I gave up immediately. I was like, nope, it's French.
What
Yeah.
is it?
That
I
word
don't
was
remember
very
it.
Like
complicated.
Luke's Clin or something.
Oh,
Aye.
wasn't that Latin though?
Whatever it was not something that I'm capable of reading.
If you can find it again and put it in chat, I'll try and see if we can do it.
All right. Well, let's see if Patrick can find it because I don't remember which one it was.
Also, Patrick, your Italian isn't any better.
I guarantee you it was garbage, but I gave my best.
Look, you gotta give credit to you gotta give credit to us Americans who are like can't speak any other language except English or Spanish, maybe.
Yo.
Yeah, so
Teal just put it in the voice chat.
Dugas Sklin?
Oh my god, that's gotta be German or something. That's not French for them, freaking sure.
I love how, like, if it's unpronounceable, we just all assume that it's German.
I mean, if I'm trying to read it in French, it would come out as Dugas.
Yeah. So apparently it's
Dugas.
It's Bertrand Dugas. Yeah, so apparently it's a military commander, Bertrand Duguesclin. Says the eagle of Brittany or the black dog of Brocéliande. I'm just gonna stop saying French words in the presence of a French-speaking person.
Yeah. Brittany is not exactly French. It's a mix of English and German descent.
Ah.
So that's why this word is so butchered.
Ah, no wonder. Well, then we can feel free to butcher it too. Thank you, Teal, for bringing it up. Ed, you should definitely join us more often on these reads. At least.
Well, it depends when I finish work,
I
because
know.
I finished work a little bit early today.
Ah, sweet. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us today. And the same goes for everybody here too. What's up?
And I don't really want to read, but I do like listening and participating at the end.
Yeah, for sure. That's totally okay. We love it. We only have so many roles, and sometimes reading is a little bit nerve-wracking, but I always enjoy the discussion. What do you think of from all of that? From all that you've heard for this chapter, is there anything that you want to point out, especially about the characters that appeared here?
Like how Debray is just sitting in the corner, like as far away in the salon as possible, and writing down what he hears. Actually, he was doing arithmetics, but like basically just how can you just have a person that wants all the gossip in the town just hanging out in your room or something?
Yeah. So,
he kind of made me think of a stenographer in court.
Exactly.
Ooh, yeah. It's funny to me because we have different kinds of privilege types in this story, but at least Albert makes himself likable. He amuses us. I'm sure he amuses the Count as well.
That's probably why the Count keeps him around. Honestly, that's my running theory. It's like the Count is keeping Albert around because, oh, you're a funny little bird. I'm going to keep you around, and I'm going to put a nice little cage around you. And then when I'm done, well, I'm going to
eat your heart out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I really feel like Albert has actually endeared himself to the Count in the pet way. I mean, like,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, he sees Albert like as a funny pet that he keeps around.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like cats when they play around with their prey before they finish it off. Kind of like that. Or like sometimes they will keep it close to themselves. They don't actually kill them, but they kind of like pet the thing before striking. So that's the kind of vibe I get also from Edmund here.
Yeah.
I'm especially loving our relationship as the reader with these characters compared to the characters themselves amongst each other. Because as the reader, you read about Monte Cristo, and every move he makes, you're suspicious. Like, what ulterior motive does he have in doing X, Y, or Z?
Right.
And the people he's talking to, the people he's interacting with, they don't even see it at all.
Yep.
So, and that's one of the fun things about it, because we're not reading this from Dante's his point of view. This is not just following him. He went here, he went there. We're following Albert, and we follow. Yes, we do follow Edmund, but it's not quite in his head. We don't get that luxury of having every question answered because we see him do things and say things, even when we're in his point of view, and we still have no idea. Like, how much of this do you truly mean? How much of this did you plan? How much of this, like, are you truly feeling these words? Like, for example, when he thought that Villefort's kid was a very charming creature, right? the author, went out of their way to say that the kid was like a brat, and like they really went to town with the kid. He's like, he's a pain in the butt. He's a brat. But Edmund said like, oh no, he's a good and charming kid. Like, just look at him tearing out the pages of this album. He's so sweet. What a precious, precocious child, right? And
was taking out feathers out of the poor parrot.
Right. So part of me is like, yes, you plague the heart out of Villefort, make his house miserable, grow up to be the worst child imaginable. Like, he could really have a fondness for the child, as like hoping that he just becomes a pain for his parents. But then he could also be pretending that he finds the child charming. So we still don't know. Like, and I don't think a lot of these things will be answered. It's just kind of for us to interpret. Like, how much of this is Edmund, really, really saying from the heart, and how much of it is Monte Cristo being cold, cynical, merciless. So I really like that. We don't quite know, even though we've been going through this whole story with Edmund ever since part 2 ended. I think that was part 2 when ever since we started part 2, that's when we've been like really like kind of not quite sure what to make of Edmund. But I love it either way. I love seeing not just the the characters be like, what's going on, not really knowing exactly who he is, but also hear you guys, the readers, and myself. It's fun. All right. So, we must arrest this man immediately for his heinous acts against... All right. Okay, you guys. So that is today's read-along. I'm so happy you guys were able to join us today. We're gonna pick up next week with chapter 55. And then you have to join us. You have to join us for that. Remember?
Yes, you must join us. Join us, please. Join us.
Remember, we also have anime watch parties during Sunday, so we have that also up aboard the server to have access to it. All right, everybody. Today, reading were the following beautiful people. Let's see. We had... Oh no, I lost the list. Here's the list.
You don't need to call us beautiful. We know where we are.
Yes. So we had Patrick was reading both the Count of Monte Cristo, and by the way, he had a conversation with himself with Baptistine. So good job on that, Patrick, and changing your voice for that. And we also had Albert de Morcef was being read by Yay82. Thank you, Yay. And Yukihime also took on 2 roles, read the oh gosh, Lucien Debray, and of course Bertuccio. So that's gonna be fun when we get that dinner at... Oh, what's that? Ed, can you say it again? Uteye?
Otay.
Otey. Okay, Otey. So
we're using Ed like we used Vincent back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, Vincent was all the German words.
Yep. For bookworm. All right, you guys. I'll see you then on the next one. Thank you so much for reading with us, and thank you again to highlighter MVP Yukihime who highlighted today's read along. We'll see you guys next week for the Count of Monte Cristo. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
Ciao.
Au revoir.
Sayonara.
Revedere.
Adios.